All right, guys, so if you have a Yukon, Tahoe, or an Escalade and it's riding really rough, you might want to take a look at your shocks. Now, mine has about 98,000 miles, riding like a wood wagon, driving me nuts. You know, I felt a lot of the vibrations inside the cabin, and I did a little research and ends up to be most likely my shocks. So I'm going to start with the rear. Actually, one of them is already leaking oil. These are the Magnerides. They're made by DWI. That's the part number. If you have a 2015 to 2020 Tahoe, Escalade, or Yukon, now make sure you always use your VIN number to get the correct part. There's different parts for each car, obviously, but I decided to start with the rear and then do the front. I ended up getting the original ones here because I did a lot of research and ended up that a lot of people complain about those cheap brands that they lasted 6 months, a year, 8 months. So I decided, you know what, let me spend a little bit of extra money and get these first. Now, I did also research on, I think they're called Luftmaster or something like that. They do have a 2-year warranty. That was gonna be my first option. I got a good deal on these through Amazon. I'll put the links below. They help out the channel. We're trying to grow. Can't do it without your support. But if you don't want to, spend the extra money on these, you could get the other ones that do have a 2-year warranty. With that said, guys, don't forget to like and follow. If you have any comments or questions, put them down below. So let's get right to it. All right, so these are the new ones. They do have a different part number. It looks like it was switched over. The A4 176675, the old one 23290661. All right, same length, same plug. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and remove the tire to make the job a little bit easier. If you don't have one of these, you want to probably, take a look at, getting a nice socket set for your wheel lugs. This one's from Billy Tools. It does have, your basic sizes, and, it has this protector here. It spins, plastic, and, keeps your, rims from getting scratched. Very, very nice. I was tired of, scratching my wheels, putting tape around my sockets, and this little kit right here that I bought is fantastic. Always got to make sure that they do have the size that you need, but, other than that, it works pretty sweet. So we are going to remove this little Torx right here and this little plastic tab. It's going to be a T15, so it's just a little easier to access the plug area. And then, if you have yourself one of these little panel pullers here, put it under there. Pull that right out. So I think that's pretty good there. All right, guys, so, you could pull this little cover off just a little bit, put something to pry it so it's open so you have access to your plug right here. So using your little panel puller, you could get under the little plug right there and take it off the frame so it's a little bit easier to work with. All right, so, once you have it loose, you're gonna pull on this little gray tabs right here, pull it outwards. All right, so once you press on the little gray tab, it'll come, right off. So that is going to be your first, connector to remove. All right, so this is the air plug. You're going to use a little pair of pliers, and you're going to go ahead and pull on it. All right, twist it to the side, and there you go. That comes right off. Then you might want to put it back to its original location. Okay. So you're going to go ahead and kind of twist it like that. So you see how it opens up these two little metal tabs. You're going to do this, pull it right out, and you're good to go. All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and, you're going to need yourself a wrench on one side, socket on the other, 13/16. All right. You have to pry the bottom just a little bit. Careful with your fingers. All right, so once you release the bottom, then we're gonna work on the top. Make sure you take out your, air hose. That way you don't have any built-up pressure inside, your shock. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove this plate here. After removing the spare tire, it definitely makes, work a lot easier. So I'm gonna remove this plate to access, the top. This DeWalt, ratchet, the new one. This is fantastic. I really like it. It does have the dual anvil. You could, pretty much change it to the other side if you want to. Really, really cool. So if you have your trigger on the opposite side, excellent tool. To make it easier, your little panel puller, pull this wire harness, got a little plug right here. So it's a lot easier. You can either push it up, so now you can see the cable, or push it, pull it down, whichever way is easier for you. So now you can see the bolts a lot easier. So you can just put this back when you're done. All right, guys, so I'm gonna use my long extension. I don't have a super long one, but this should work. Actually going to use a little mirror also to help me line it up. Once I got it locked in, then I'll get your wrench from the other side. All right, so holding the other side and this side, I'm gonna release it. All right, I'm going to push the shock a little bit up and then grab it, and it'll pull right out. All right, we're gonna go ahead and install the new one. All right, so leave your cap on. Make sure you don't get any dust in there. Every time you hit the car, you don't want anything going in there. So pigtail goes towards the front of the vehicle. All right, to make life easy, what we're gonna do is we're gonna use the bottom bolt. When you're by yourself, it's a little hard. You don't have a lot of leverage from the top. We're gonna go ahead and put the shock in, put the bolt in from this side. Okay, so that way the shock is in the correct location. So all we're gonna do is, from the inside, push the other one in, and then this one will fall out. But it's a lot easier because it's already lined up, So that's just a little trick there. All right, top is done. All right, don't forget to put the little cable back in its location. All right, I'm good to go. All right, guys, so in order for you to line up your shocks, you either get another jack for here, or you put your jack stands as furthest part of the frame as you can. Don't put it in the middle, and then you lower your jack here in the differential until these guys line up. So that, I think, would be probably the best bet to be able to to do that. So I'm still a little short. I'm gonna go ahead and lower it just a little bit more, because I don't think I can pry this. These things are probably very, very strong. Oh, there it goes. So all right, so that worked just a little bit, but the distance I was off, as you saw earlier, was off about 3 inches or so, because I had my jack stands on my axle. So now I moved them to the frame. Be extremely careful, safety first. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if I could push this up a little bit. There we go. And all right, nice and tight. All right, guys, so now's the time you want to go ahead and remove the little cap. Make sure there's no rust or anything like that. It shouldn't. And make sure there's nothing inside your connector. And then you're just gonna, make sure that these two little metal tabs are, you can see them. So those are the ones that lock your little air hose, and you just push in and that's it, and you're good to go. Pretty much you're gonna plug it in. And once it's all the way, you're gonna push in the little gray tab. There we go. Yeah, you gotta push in quite hard. So once the gray tab is locked in, then you know you're good to go. Then you're gonna put in your connector right in the little hole again. All right, so let's go ahead and put back the liner. Put the little plastic tabs on there. I don't know why they put a plastic tab and then they put a screw in there. All right, we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the opposite side. Remove these little tabs. Always the first one's the hardest one. Go ahead and spread this puppy. All right, so this is the side that's leaking full of oil. So same thing, we're gonna go ahead and little tab right here, we're gonna move it to the side and pull out. All right. Make sure it's nice and clean inside. Put the little tab back so that way you can see the two little metals. All right, same thing, using your pry tool, pull it out. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and pull on the gray tab. All right, beautiful. And she's out. All right, so on the other side now, take off this side. Just gonna pry it just a little bit. It's actually perfect. Come on. All right, so this one is a little bit more difficult from the inside. My extensions are a little bit off. All right, so it looks like this one, I'm gonna have to do it by here. It's a little bit easier, I think. There's actually a little bit of room here, way more room. So driver's side, I think we could do it by here. So remember to always put in the bottom in first. And we're gonna go ahead and put the pigtail towards the front. And I'm gonna go ahead and use the screw just from this side so it lines up. And then you use the other one to go from the inside, so it's a little easier. So use the bottom one to line it up from the outside, and then the inside one, we'll put it from the inside. I think it's gonna be a way easier than from the bottom. Oh yeah, absolutely. So now we know. I wish GM would have put, a built-in nut into the frame, so all you have to do is screw it from this side. Beautiful. Now we know driver's side. We need to do it from the inside. From the outside. All right, so I used a medium-sized socket in one of these without the bulky head. It should fit perfect right through here. Let's go ahead and do the plug. Beautiful. And then there's two of them. One's a guide, and the other one is the the little grommet that sticks to it there. Okay, nice. Ready to rock and roll. All right, so ready for the bottom. Okay, here we go. All right, beautiful. All right, we're set, good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and put the heat guard back on, spare tire back on, tires back on, and we should be good to go. So now we know the left side, way better to do it from the top, the inner well, or than doing it from under the car. All right, make sure your air is on, your plug is on, that you had tightened everything. All right, guys, so don't forget to torque your lug nuts 140 foot-pounds. And when you install your caps, the little notch right here goes to where the air valve is. All right, so this one here, mine, look, it's leaking through, the airport. So that's why this one here is full of oil. Some of the rubber is pretty much, falling apart. So this one's always been giving me, I've cleaned it a few times, but still it will leak oil, after a bit. So yeah, it was time to replace them. And definitely I'm excited to take it for a test drive. All right, so let's go ahead and check the entrance here. This is where a lot of the vibration. Feel it? Hear it? Yeah, those rear shocks are done. They're pretty stiff. And so I mean, we have very smooth speed bumps here, so. Alright guys, so I am super excited replacing the rear shocks with the original GM. What a difference, night and day. Just the rear alone. I'm gonna do the front too, but I'm gonna wait a little bit, because they're not, very cheap. But listen to the difference. I don't know if you heard the difference before. The exit here, my community has pavers, and it used to sound really bad. I literally have a Z06 and it was worse than my Z06, the actual drive. So very excited. It is so smooth, just the way it's supposed to be. I am so happy. You have no idea. Been waiting for about a year, noticing the little details, of the way the ride was. Absolutely trash, solid. It feels so much better, guys. Really, do a ride in your Yukon, Tahoe, or Escalade. If you feel like it's making a lot of noise inside, if you feel like it's being really stiff, change the shocks. You're gonna be amazed. Your truck is gonna ride brand new. Even if you have a pickup truck, Absolutely so happy. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out some of the links below. They do help out the channel. And I'll see you in the next video. If you have any questions, comments, put them down below. Love to hear your experience and your thoughts. All right, thanks for watching.